Good afternoon, everybody. Going to be working on a little project here. I'm trying to make a theme baffle separator for my dust collection in this little workshop. The big thing that I'm working on right now, though, I need to make a circle cutting jig so I can cut the baffles for those. So this video here is going to be for the circle cutting jig on this cheap bandsaw, and we're going to see if I can make it work. And if so, fantastic. I just put a new blade on it. I just put new wheels on it. Other than that, everything else is pretty good on it, other than it's a cheap 9-inch bandsaw. Okay, so the table's about 12 inches wide, so what we did is we ripped this piece of plywood down 12 inches. It's just a sacrificial piece. We're going to be drilling holes all into it. And what I'm going to do, glue and nail this piece of wood onto the edge so that it can ride the edge of the table as kind of like a fence. That way, when we put the wood on, we can mount the wood, slide the table in, and then start to spin this so that we get that nice cut into the wood. Alright, now it's time. We're going to take our sled that we made, slide it in and make our starting cut so we know where to measure for our pins. And once this is in, I'm going to look at different ways to clamp it so that it doesn't move, doesn't fall off. Got to plug it in first, idiot. Once I had that approximation of that blade curve, what I did, I just ran it on the table saw and make a nice straight pass. Now you can see it's just splitting that blade in here, and it's in here. What I'm going to end up doing is probably clamping it right to this side here, but I'm going to establish a line where we're going to stop, and then we'll end up putting the pins, and hopefully that holds nice and steady for it. Alright, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a really nice measurement from right here, mark out on here, and pre-drill little tiny holes just so I have pin references for where these diameters are going to be. Now, when you're doing diameter, don't forget, you only want half. So, if I come out here at 6, it's going to be a 12-inch circle. If I come out here at 10, it's going to be a 20, etc. So go ahead and mark it off, but make sure your reference number on here actually states the true diameter of what you're going to be making. I realize what I'm doing isn't the safest. Sometimes you got to do it. I've found if you take your time going with these cuts where the board is much longer than it is wide on a table saw, and you have at least a riving knife or something to keep it from kicking or turning sideways, it's moderately safe. But if not, at least you get to see it. Right now we need to find the center, so what we're going to do is line up a straight edge on the corners. And that should give us our approximate centers of the board. Now when you're doing this, it's important that you have to drill this center hole so that when you put your screw in, it moves freely in the circle, otherwise you're going to have an issue. Sometimes you'll unwind the screw, sometimes you'll just bind up and not be able to go. It depends on which way you're rotating. Now you can see it's on here. What we're going to do, I'm going to leave that little bit exposed so I can watch the cut guide in, and then when I get it in, I'm going to clamp this side down and start rotating it in. Thanks for watching that video. Hopefully you get something out of it and be able to put these little jigs together to accomplish bigger projects. I know when I first started out, learning how to do something was almost as hard as coming to grips with you may make a mistake, you may have to throw something out. For me, lately my approach has been just do it. If you screw up, it's only a piece of wood. I decided to take on this project, learning how to do the circle jig and getting everything set so that I can build a thin baffle dust separator for my planer, my table saw, to help with the dust control in my garage shop, if you will. Otherwise the sawdust gets tracked through the house and well, it's no fun to clean up, let's put it that way. If you like this, go ahead and click subscribe. I've got a couple other videos that are getting ready to come out here on how I put this theme baffle together, and I put it together, and let me tell you, there's a bunch of fail in it. So if you're looking for perfection, it's not going to be your video. But if you want to see me try, fail, try again, fail again, and finally succeed on the third one, keep watching. It was nice talking to you guys. Hope you're having a great day. We'll see you later.